All right, let's talk about what's tipping the scales now. Testimony set to resume at the top of the hour in the Take Care of Maya civil trial. We're still in the defense case. So far, the witnesses have done a very good job tipping the scales in their favor, especially after Friday's bombshell. This happened late in the day, so some of you have told me on social you might have missed this, and so we want to take the time to play it again. There's a detective that told the jury that Jack Kowalski did an interview with her, and the interview was recorded too, where he was talking about how if they get Maya home, he's willing to have Beata move out because that's what's best for Maya. Take a listen.
During your conversation with Mr. Kowalski, did he express to you any of his intentions in terms of his home living situation with his wife if Maya were to come home?
Yes, he had offered to me that given the opportunity to bring Maya home, that he would have Beata move out.
Have Beata move out. Wow. Wow, you know, that's his wife, that's the child's mother. What does that say? That was a big moment. Again, late in the day on Friday, if you weren't watching, if you were off to, you know, happy hour, having a good time in the evening, you may not have seen it, but that was huge, and the jury certainly did see it. Has that tipped the scales? Let me bring in Court TV legal correspondent Kelly Craft and Dr. Janie Lacy standing by remotely with us. So let's talk a little bit about what we saw yesterday. I have a clip from his name is Elvin Mendez. He was an excellent witness. Told the jury that he had concerns of Munchausen by proxy going on with Beata Kowalski and, of course, affecting little Maya. Let's watch.
So I was concerned about Munchausen by proxy at the time.
Okay, and why was it?
Because the symptoms, the physical examination, the objective tests that I've reviewed in medical records did not correlate with the story I was getting from mom.
Okay, Kelly, I want to start with you, please. How did you think that doctor did yesterday?
Well, I thought his testimony was very compelling. We've seen the defense bring up witness after witness talking about ketamine. No, don't use it. Then we were thinking that it could be Munchausen by proxy. And just going back a little bit to the clip you played by Dr. Graham. So she's from the Sarasota Special Victims Unit, the Sheriff's Office. And that tape recording interview she did with Jack, that was at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital when he's saying that if we bring Maya back home, I will have Beata move out. But if everyone can recall back on the stand when Jack Kowalski testified, he was saying an incident, he was talking about an incident with Miss Beatty and how Miss Beatty came up to him and said, have you ever considered divorcing your wife? And he said at that moment, he said, I don't know why anybody would say anything like that to me. And then he walked away. So somehow the plaintiff's attorney is going to have to reconcile that, because here we have a situation, that clip you played, in which he's saying he wanted Beata to move out if Maya could come back home. Right. So plaintiff's counsel is going to have to do some work on that. But again, we've seen time and time again with defense witnesses coming up, talking about the Munchausen by proxy. Seems like something was going on, but Jack also did say about Munchausen by proxy, it would ruin Beata's career if she had some sort of diagnosis, because she was a registered nurse, an infusion nurse. So it's just too early to tell what's going to happen, but I do think the defense is putting on a great case here.
Kelly, those are great points. Thank you for that. Dr. Janie Lacy, let's turn to you. You know a lot about Munchausen by proxy. Tell us, at this point in the trial, are you seeing signs or symptoms of it with Beata Kowalski, and then, of course, the effect on Maya?
Well, based on the trial, we would have to consider the experts' thoughts, their objectives. They're working directly with the family. So with that being said, if that's truly part of the diagnosis that they were leaning towards, then they're probably going to follow treatment for what's best for Maya in this case, which would then probably be the reason why Dad is considering at that point, if she was coming home, then I will have her move out so that we can have some stability for our daughter. But who also knows what their personal conversations during that time? Because as we just mentioned, that if her career would have a downfall, things with her daughter would be strained potentially, and she wouldn't be there. So there's all these moving parts. It's so complicated.
Sure. What would you be looking for, Dr. Janie, if you could do an evaluation today of Maya to try to get some answers as to whether or not she was a victim of Munchausen by proxy?
When we're working with kids, there is a consistent process that happens over time, because especially of the age of Maya or the age of kids at Maya's age, they mirror their parents. The most important attachment is to the parents. So the first thing that we would evaluate is family history. We were looking at on-site. We'd be looking at third-party reports. So we would look at all of these different assessment periods to make the greatest evaluation that more likely has an outcome so that we can get the appropriate treatment.
All right, Dr. Janie, thank you for that. You're going to stick around with us as we head into Court TV Live. Kelly, we're going to see you later today on Court TV Live. Thank you so much for weighing on this one. Great points. My friends, this is all for opening statements, but don't go anywhere. Court TV Live begins in just 4 minutes. We're going to go to Florida together for more live testimony by the defense in the Take Care of Maya civil trial. And we're gearing up for opening day in the eye drops murder trial. That one happening